So
Well, I'm saying we have a quorum because there's 5 of us and there's 3 of us on TV right now. So,
sounds good. Let's go.
yeah. So Mary, I'm glad you're here. So you
Well,
are on,
Susan said she was traveling, right? So she
right.
couldn't come.
Yes. So Mary's on mute on either form that she has.
Okay.
There you
Maybe,
go. So, Cassandra, just for your benefit, actually, last night was the Habitat presentation.
Yes.
And our whole board showed up, actually, except for Susan, because she's out of town. And
Yes.
some folks from Elder Affairs, I mentioned it at our board meeting at Elder Affairs, they showed up as well. So pretty good turnout, being that we were competing with the harbor.
Yeah.
Big mess at the library. You know, they pounded out a lot of emails to the Sandy Beach people and everybody else. So, and everyone who doesn't like oysters in the harbor. So, it went well though.
Progress.
So the most important guest that was there were the abutters.
Excellent.
yeah,
So
nice couple.
yeah, he grew up on North Main Street. So Mary, you're gonna have to put one of your devices on mute.
Yeah, I did. I thought I did.
Oh yeah, you did. Okay, maybe it's working now. I don't hear myself.
Yeah, thank you.
So it was nice. I mean, I asked some of those questions for their benefit, you know, about the value of the real estate, just so they would know from Habitat that it's not going to go down.
Yeah, and I guess I never realized that the value of the house could go up with the market. It always has to stay relatively affordable to the market, but
Yes.
they can actually make some money and stuff. So that was interesting to me. I didn't know that.
Well, I didn't realize I called the meeting to order, by the way, just in case I didn't say it out loud.
So move.
Yeah. So yeah, so the meeting went well. I thought it went well. I was really hoping for larger attendance, but yeah, I don't remember this thing being promoted.
No.
So
I was disappointed. I thought Rich saw it on an email from Justin to, I guess he's got a select mailing list, and but I mean I guess I thought there'd be a little bit more PR going out. So I'm going to talk to Tamara and see what I thought. I am assuming they have a PR person, but maybe they don't, and they were, I don't know what they were expecting for Justin to do it, but I don't think anybody just connected with Justin to make sure that stuff was going out. I did put it on 143 last week, and but clearly, I've got some work to do with trying to get some more activity. I think the farmers market will be helpful. So
yeah, and I'm happy to help you with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think they keep saying we're the best town they've ever dealt with. I don't think we've done much. So I'm like, geez, I wonder what other towns are doing that we're not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. Then she started talking about in Hingham how people came out of the woodwork and did all this stuff. So I'm like, I don't know. And Hingham's that much bigger, you know.
Yeah. So I don't know. It like I said, I think the most important guests were the abutters, which is nice. And
yeah, and they were so positive. I was wait a minute.
Yeah.
That that I said thank you at the end, because I'm sure Habitat doesn't always get a lot of positive abutters, so that was good.
Yeah. So I'd like to figure out how we can go about making more awareness of this, and I didn't see her promoting much of the gala. You have to actually sign up and pay. So I don't know.
And that was I was sitting next to Lisa Legg, who's on the gala committee, and she was the one who was giving me more information. And they said they did a mailing, and I was like, did you? And then I vaguely remember seeing a postcard, but it was quite a while ago, and I was like, I don't know, they probably should have waited and done it maybe a little closer. But then, so we need to go online and sign up before they jack up the price.
Yeah, so I got to figure out. I don't know where to go to sign up. I thought, Justin was doing townwide mailing on the gala for them, but also
we need to do that then. That needs to go out.
I thought they were doing one like a residential mailing.
Well, I think they did. I think they did a postcard, and I thought, I'm trying to think if I saved it. I would have, but I think it was right before I was going away or something.
Okay. Yeah, I'll double check to see if I have one.
Yeah, I can check also. I can check with Justin and see what it is. I mean, it's not up to us to promote their gala. And I have a feeling that I have a friend who does a gala every year, and it's such a different animal. And, they have their own lists, they have their own normal supporters. So, I think it's less on us. I mean, it's us helpful to support it and to publicize it, but it's not up to us to get, people in the seats. So, even though
that's good. I'm glad you're saying that, because I'm feeling like, what are we supposed to be doing?
Yeah, I did alert my wife that we'll be going.
I told Dan, he's like,
what?
And so
you have the same response.
Well, I know is there. I said, Paul.
Yeah.
Well, I like Paul. I said, so there.
Yeah, there you go.
Lisa Legg said her husband said the same thing. And I said to him, you're not going to meet anybody if you don't go out of the house and go meet.
That's right. Yeah. As soon as I told her that it would be, kind of cocktails and walking around appetizers and silent auction, she was happy with that. Because, when you're landlocked at a table for 10 and you don't know anybody at any table, it's kind of a long night.
Yeah, that's what I said to him too. That was the catch. I said, and it's not a sit down thing. You get cocktails and you can roam around. So he's like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
That's not as bad.
Yeah. So, so that's good. So I'm happy about that. So let's just see what happens. I'm going to be tomorrow morning on a call with the trust. Of course, none of them showed up last night to this event. And but I'll find out what they're up to. If anyone there is going to go to the event as well, which would be nice. Okay. I think at minimum, if residents, don't go to it, like you said, Mary, it's really an annual event for the entire South Shore to attend.
The region, yeah.
Yeah. So, but it would be nice if, the trust and the housing committee actually went.
Yeah. No, I'm planning on going. Rich has something else, but so no, I'm sure Susan will. I think we'll get a good turnout from our committee.
I think Susan will go. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you can get the trust to put some people in, that would be great too. Yeah. And as far as publicity, I as I said, I was under the mistaken notion that Habitat had its own publicity department and was doing stuff. So I'm going to check with Tamar later on in the week and see, what exactly they see their role is, and what I can do. I've never seen a press release that I could send out to anybody. So I need to get some pieces in place. If anybody has some suggestions, but I already did talk to. I reached out to Rotary the other day. He hasn't gotten back to me, but I'm hoping we can get a date in May to see them. And I think I'll do a 143 if everybody agrees, to say we're looking for other groups to talk to, and see if we can go to some other meetings. I found in the past that if instead of having your own meeting, if you can go to other people's meetings, you have a captured group there. And even if it's only for a few minutes, that's often more effective. And I'm happy to do some of those. So
you're talking about going on to 143 Facebook and seeing if
it's okay. And just saying, if this is what we're doing, if there are groups out there that would like a presentation, a discussion or a presentation, let me know, and then, or let Habitat know. I've got to check with Tamar and see what their procedure is, whether she wants everything to go through her, or I can get people to go through me directly, or what. And that protocol will be important going forward, because if they want everything to go through them, then I can ask more of them. And if And if they don't, then I can do it the way I want to. So,
okay. Yeah, definitely. It was a little different last night with those three, because originally they were like, oh, we got to get a list, start thinking about people who can donate lumber, who can do this and who can do that, or who will donate money. And we're like, oh, we know a couple of people. And she said, oh, well, we already know that person. They're already been donating to us for years.
Yeah.
I don't know whatever happened to that conversation. You know what I mean? It seemed to have fallen off the radar with her. And I don't know. It seemed like.
Was that Tamar?
But last night it seemed to me that Tamar's role is I don't know, maybe the community involvement piece of it, because the getting the people to donate and the construction side of it was one person, and then the other woman who was there, she handles the volunteers, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what Tamar's role is when it comes to that stuff. So the question is, we can go out, let's say we go out to the high school and Phil Mahoney said, I'll get the football team together to go over there and, move rocks or dig a hole, whatever it is. We'd have to coordinate that with one of those three people to say, here's what we have, because they're going to be all gun ho and they're going to say, well, when do you want us there? And we're going to say, I don't know.
Right. So, yeah, no, I think everything has to go through them. I think they take a larger role and a more hands-on role than we thought initially. And I think Tamara is a missing link to me as to what exactly is she. I know she's wants us to reach out to people, but I have a feeling it's not as significant as we had thought initially. And so I don't want to, I think any of us would rather that she go out to people asking for money than we do. But if she needs introductions and that stuff, that was my assumption. But then she said to me a week ago, well, she's been going out and seeing people in the community and stuff. Well, if she hasn't told me or us, to me anyway, who or what she's doing. So I think I need to touch base with her and kind of get a follow-up as to exactly, a little more precision as to what is happening with them, because I have a feeling they're going to raise most of the money themselves.
Because they said they already had just under 200. I'm like, okay, we only gave you 35 and no one's phone number. So,
Well, but I thought they said they got 75
or 75. Yeah.
Well, and again, I think they've raised some money on their own already. And the other piece I didn't understand, or maybe I do, is that the people have a mortgage. So does that $250 for the mortgage go into the pot? And if so, no, it doesn't.
I don't think that goes
when they sell the house or whatever they sell it for. If they sell it for $250, that money goes to Habitat. It doesn't go towards that particular property.
Oh, okay. That's what I was curious
I think it's like keeps it all rolling.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they don't earmark it specifically for that. So
that was my confusion. Yeah. So because that was going to be real good news if they were
because then it would be then when they would tell us it would be $750, right? They'll get $250 from the homeowner and $500 from us. So no matter what we do, we still got to come up with $500. So I don't know what they're going to do. They said they got a list 15 pages long of donors or potential businesses in Hingham when they were doing the Hingham project or something. I'm like, well, I can give you the phone book as well. So
I know.
I don't know. So we'll have to figure out what it is she wants us to do. So
well, if you want to, as I said, I have a couple of questions. I need to go back to her for some clarification. One of it is the PR piece, and is it their plan to do the press releases, or I think every 2 weeks we should have something going out, informational of some kind. And I said I'm happy to do it on 143. And, I think we should get something in the Stroll. I think it should be Elder Affairs newsletter every month.
The Stroll's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where people
And, so again, I I don't know about you guys, but I need some clarification as to sort of, now that we've got the first couple of events under our belt and we sort of know that we can do this, then I'm happy to start in with her, towards the end of the week and say, okay, these are my questions. These are the questions from the committee. What exactly is happening here? Should we meet? Should we have Tamar get back to us every week with a report as to who she's talked to, who she's met with? I mean, is that a role for us to sort of monitor that so that we don't step on toes? Again, I think they're more self-sufficient than I was led on to believe. So
I believe you are correct.
Which is good news for me, but.
Yeah, I know.
I also think though that now that the plan is finally done and pretty much approved, that sort of then gives everyone a focus to go out and say, okay, this is what we're doing over there. And that makes a difference. If you're just doing a general, we got a Habitat for Humanity thing going, but nobody can really focus on it. Now that we have, we can picture what's going there and they can tell us more details, then probably now is the time really that things are going to start happening and people can get behind it more.
Yeah. So I think what might be an eye opener for us, Mary, is probably everything they had on those two tables, less the cookies, we can get set up at the town meeting for that Monday night.
Yep. That's the plan. No, that's the plan, is to get all that stuff, on a road show that goes to the farmer's market. We did talk to the farmer's market person, Anna Bruzzi's daughter, I think, Michelle. And she said, you can come every week, 2 weeks. I said, I can't do more than 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, because it's, it's a long afternoon. But I think every 2 weeks, and have the table, the same table with that we had at the rec fair. She had a couple of easels with the plan, the plans and the elevations on it. And then she had the board to sign.
Yep.
And, we had a lot of people stop by. I have to say, Tamara is very good in that role. She would say, people would walk by and say, hey, have you heard Habitat for Humanity is coming to town? And she'd really reel them in. A lot of young families who I thought might not be, that interested, like, I've got my own situation going. I don't, but they she really was good at that. So I was pleased about that. And so I think that piece of it is the one-on-one table stuff is.
But we need to hand them something that says, what are you going to give us in return? Your time, your talent, or your treasure?
Yeah.
So we have to do that. We have to get them something, even if it's a flyer with a QR code that says, donate, or donate your time, donate your money, donate, materials. We need, that's the missing link, because people are going to ask us, so what do you want me to do? Or what are you doing? We're like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, she had she did have a couple of handouts, but they weren't what I wanted.
Yeah.
But I talked to Justin last night, because he had something online that announcing the meeting and so forth, which was very attractive. And so I asked him if he'd go back and take out the information about, this is about the community meeting, but put in a paragraph or two about what we're looking for, so we can use it as a flyer as you said, as a handout, put it at the Stop and Shop, put it at Shaw's, put it at Aubuchon, and see if anybody is interested from that end, and we'll, with the QR code and stuff on it. So Paul, did you get Justin's email with the one-page flyer kind of thing on it the other day? Because I know Rich did. So if you go back and look at that, I asked him last night to try to tweak that so we could use it as a generic PR piece and use it as a handout, information and stuff. So
yeah, if you want me to print stuff, I got a color printer at work. I can print them. So
okay, well, we've got a color printer, but I wanted to wait until I got him to make the changes. He said he uses something called Canva, and he said he's happy to. He said he's happy to do that. So, I it's just, once I get a first draft from him about what text he wants to change, I'll send it to you guys, see what you guys want to include in it. And certainly the, yeah, what do you want to do piece is important. And how to, how to get back to us and what's going on.
Start getting a list of people that would be willing to, bang nails, do site work. And then some people that just want to donate.
Yeah, I saw on the Habitat website, South Shore this morning that they post periodically. Do you want to come and bang nails, or I forget what the latest task was, but they apparently put in frequent updates as to what that they're looking for people to help out on site. And it's under construction now, so apparently that's something that they're used to doing, is recruit people, off the cuff. So.
Okay. Yeah, I was telling Mira, I noticed on the Realtor website that you can, I think, pay them like $20 or $30, and they'll post. Somebody did post, "Do you want to come help at Hingham?" Through the Realtor. So.
All right. Well, just let us know how to participate, Mary. If we can get that from her, that would be nice, because I think people want to help. They just don't know how, and we don't have a tool to tell them how.
Right. That's a great point. And I'll try to write up write up an email to you guys and tomorrow and email you and keep you give an update for you guys, because we have gone through some of the things on my list already. And some of it, almost the first half is done, which is great, but then we've got a lot more to add to it. So, and the other thing is, if you guys think of any other groups like the Realtors or, anybody from the construction world, I don't think they have a local group, but I think beyond Rotary, I don't know what other business groups there might be, but I think they've already talked to the garden club. So I don't know if that would be useful, a useful piece of somebody's time. The other thing is, we could also do one of those library meetings for ourselves. So, and just have it for us and not have to, just have a Monday, one of their coffee and conversation meetings, and have people come for anybody who missed our presentation. The other thing I need to do is talk to Justin. I asked him if they were recording the meeting. He said yes. He said he will download it to a YouTube. So what I'd like to do is get that on Cohasset, the Cohasset website, and I can also put that on 143.
Okay, good.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I think that'll it'll help out for sure. Definitely. I know that, like with Justin, I get his emails because of my Cohasset MA email address. It doesn't go to my personal email or my work email. So I don't know who's on his email list. You know what I mean?
I don't either, because Rich still can't get his Cohasset one to work. So it comes to him personally, but he just got that the other day, and I didn't get it. So I don't, that's kind of an odd thing, but whatever.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I was never able to get my Cohasset one to work.
You may not want it to. It's frustrating. But so these are all good to grab a hold of. I know, like I said, I think before we start hitting these people, we should get that tool that we can hand somebody to say, hey, here's what you can do, fill it out, or scan the code with your phone, or just let me know, and we'll put you on the list and we'll call you, that kind of thing. So that would be great.
Yeah.
And any other ideas of town nonprofit groups that we might reach out to, that just come to a meeting? You don't need to tell me now, but think about it over the next couple of days, or day or two.
I think we kind of went through this raising money for the senior center. We kind of sat around and thought about stuff, and once we have that piece in our hand saying, listen, we're asking for primarily we're asking for donations, but we're also asking for perhaps your help in doing something special. So as an example, there's 5 houses of worship in Cohasset. We can go to them and talk to them about maybe a welcome wagon basket or something.
Okay, good idea.
Right? Because you would want someone to maybe attend your services on Sunday, if somebody's new moving to town, that, you know, so maybe a basket, you know, with some things in it that promote their stuff, or, you know, some candies or things like that would be helpful. Or if in their church they want to do a fundraiser and they raise, you know, $500 or something from their parishioners, that's great.
Okay, that's a good idea.
You know what I mean? So it's little things like that we had walked around and talked about doing. And of course, you know, high school will be out, so nobody needs their, you know, community service hours, or they're certainly not thinking about it over the summer. So
confirmation classes.
Yeah, I know. So we have, so she said they're gonna start in a couple of months, right? So that would put it into June, July timeframe.
I thought she said like August was probably when physically people could start doing stuff there.
Gosh, doing stuff, yeah. Yes. We'd have to figure out how to find the physical volunteers by that point, but I'm sure they'll have enough volunteers.
That might be where the farmers market would be a really good.
Yeah.
So,
you know, we could go to these church groups and say, hey, you know, hey, do you have a youth group? You know, there's ASP, there's, you know, St. Anthony's has a youth group. Anybody want to do charitable work? This is, you know, if school's not in session, that kind of thing, we can certainly do that.
And Sarah Livermore, on our elder, you know, she rounded up the kids to help at the community dinner. I think I think she might go to the church next to the town hall or something like that. So yeah, I think there's different avenues like that.
Yeah, that's the Congo.
Yeah, and that would be right up.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, absolutely. So we have those types of groups. I mean, Rotary's great. You know, I've been to a number of Rotary meetings when they used to have them up at the Lightkeepers Inn, and they eat very well during those meetings.
I thought they had them every month, but every week. But I looked on their website, and it's looked like maybe once a month. So
I thought they did do it every week. I'll ask Lorraine, my sister-in-law. She's on Rotary.
They used to, yeah. And
did they cut it back?
They must have, because the last ones I attended was this is kind of funny. They had the guy who was growing his own grass and making it into he was in where the tea shop was on 1 Pleasant Street.
Yeah.
And he was growing this grass, right? And then he would make it into this drink that was, you know,
my God.
Beyond, yeah. So he was
a healthy drink. Supposed to be.
It was green, and
we're not asking.
I was laughing, but they only had pizza that night, so I said, "Hey, what happened to the chicken piccata?"
Yeah.
But yeah, so those groups are good. You know, we talked about a couple other groups, you know, like whatchamacallit, the old goats or something like that.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking about that too.
But that's where we would want to go and do a specific ask, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that would be like, hey, we need a check.
Yeah.
You know, because your talents are worthy, but I don't know if you can do the construction. So, but you know, we could do that, or talk to them about, you know, presenting, and then, you know, coming up an event for them to where they could all participate. You know,
sure.
So you just show up at a meeting and no one brings a checkbook to a meeting, right? So
yeah.
We want to plan that one in advance. So but those are really the key ones. But I think you're right, though. If we go to a couple of board meetings, like if we attend the advisory board meeting,
that's a good one.
You know, just different meetings that, you know, A, the board members are there, and B, would be on TV.
Yeah.
Right. So we can go to one of these meetings and get on the agenda and say, hey, we just wanted to bring this to your attention. You know, it's just, you know, we're building a home on behalf of the town through Habitat, and, you know, it's we've used CPC money, and we want you to know how we're using that money that is yours. And, you know, and go in front of advisory, go in front of capital, go in front of anyone else that's there. You know, planning board, let them know that we're really working to get this done. And, you know, whoever else we need to go in front of, because they all have to go in front of them to get approvals. We might as well go in front of them and pitch the benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised that they went through all their approvals and didn't. Did they mention that to you, Paul, that they were going to all, for all these
Nope.
meetings? And
No, and I'll tell you, it's kind of surprising because most people do ask us for support. When George McGoldrick was doing that harbor project, I went there a ton of times, and so did Rob. We kept going, and because we really pushed the offsite housing aspect of it to get those numbers up, and so definitely, I mean, that's why the 55 Main Street, I don't know if it's Main Street or South Main Street. How long Main Street is, it might be 10 feet long, because it's all of a sudden,
it's all north or south.
There's no main, huh?
I think
where the community center, where
the community center block
switches.
Yeah.
Is that where it switches over?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's 5 South Main across the street. Yeah. So anyway, so 55 South Main, the gas station, she's come to us quite a number of times.
Yeah. They do seem to be struggling with which way to go with this.
Yeah. So, as far as all the developments, updates and everything, since Mary gave us all the subcommittee updates, I can tell you that, Stop and Shop, I mentioned last night, they've got 10 units already rented out, 5 of them.
Oh, good.
The first 5 that went were affordable.
Wow.
That's great news. And so he's half full. He's got 10 more to go, I think. And, based on what we saw in the presentation last night, rent's pretty high.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that there'll be a little market competition, might be healthy, so we'll see how that goes. The 1 Pleasant Street, I drove by there over the weekend, and I get my boys regular, and then I usually walk around the corner to see how it's going. And they're looking like they're getting pretty close. They came to us in front of sewer a couple of months ago because they have to, kind of hook up and all that. So I know that's 14 units. So that for sure will come online in 2023.
Yeah.
And that's great news. I did receive a phone call from John Charvo on the one on South Main Street down by St. Anthony's.
Yep.
I forget that number, but he
147
thank you. He called because he was having a lot of troubles with the neighbors, and as he mentioned to us before during our public meeting, he was reaching out to me to see if there's any additional support or help that we can do. And I did mention to him that the level of issues that he was having is not something that we would handle. It's primarily issues that would be handled at the town hall, which is where a lot of the issues currently reside. So there's been a couple of disputes over his foot's on my side of the property line or his side of the property line, or whose tree is it, and that kind of stuff. So
okay.
Yeah, so so that's been handled by that department over there. I forget the woman's name was in charge over there, in the building department, I guess, or permitting. So Christina said they're working on whatever issues they are over there.
Okay.
I did tell him that the trust did offer to provide consulting support to how to get the house set up for the affordable housing unit.
Oh, okay.
So I'll talk to them tomorrow about that to see where they're at on it. He said it's probably getting close to where he's going to need to start figuring that out. The facility looks great. I was surprised at the amount of property you had back there.
Yeah, me too.
I know.
It's like a T-shaped property,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really interesting. I thought the gas station owned everything back there, but it's opposite. This property goes back and tees around. So, So I'll check with housing to see what they're going to do to help people set up for this. They brought in a consultant that would help you figure out how to set up with the state to get residents in there. So. And let's see, I think that's really it. I don't know. Can't think of anything else off the top of my head. I know we haven't heard back from Cassie on the gas station what they're doing, because they have to find some place in town to put 3 units.
We can't force them to do this on site, can we? Do we have any leverage?
No, we have a bylaw. About the best you can do is lobby planning.
Okay.
You know, we unfortunately fought in that direction for the harbor because it made sense in the harbor. To put the affordable elsewhere. Now hers are strictly apartments there. They're not, you know, waterfront condominiums.
Yeah.
So it is a little different, but you know, I'm not privy to anybody's financial information, but certainly it's a math problem, I guess, to rent out. What did she say? I don't know. Our rule was, and this is kind of where I wish Lauren had that in. I don't know, Cassandra, if you had it. I don't know. She said if she has 12 units, that 25% of them had to be deeded affordable. I thought it was closer to 15. So we had in our bylaws, we had like I thought we had like a 15, a 20, and a 25% on that.
I can check on that.
Okay. Yeah. So you know, if she goes by that, then 3 of them would have to be affordable. So if you're getting 3,300 market and you can only get 2,200, I see you're losing $12,000 a year, you know, per apartment. So you're losing $36,000 a year, and you're not actually losing $36,000 a year. You're just not able to get that additional revenue. So it's not that you're losing money at $2,200 a month. It's just that you're not getting $3,300 a month, you know. Well, so I don't know how they see it, you know, to say.
But that's what so do you think they're leaning towards being apartments? Is that what it's on?
Her last meeting with us, she said there were going to be apartments.
Because I wasn't able to join that one, but
and she was going to.
I don't know how they can buy, you know, say 3 apartments off doing any, you know, I mean, to me, just having 3 cut rate apartments makes more sense than trying to find something off site, you know?
Yeah, because, you know, the affordable units are indexed just like the regular real estate market, right? So numbers are going to go up. You know, rent will go up just like they do for everybody else. It's just that it's always a percentage below the market rate.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. I don't understand the math side of it. You know, I went to a couple of, you know, public forums on affordable housing in Boston. And, you know, I get that you need subsidies from the state or from the cities to help you with big projects to make them financially sound. But after they're built, then they're financially stable over time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not like, you know, Avalon has, you know, 20%, not 25% up there. So I don't know why she thought she had to have 25% and not 20. Because even if she does 2 on her, if she does them on the property, we get credit for all 12.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I would rather figure out how to reduce the number that she's required to do so we get credit for all 12, you know, rather than have her put 2 off site, we get credit for only 2.
Yeah.
So,
Cassandra, do you ever talk to Lauren? Because she's working for Judy Barrett, who's an expert on all on this affordable housing stuff, particularly in wealthier communities. And I'm happy to reach out to her and see if she'd talk to Judy and see if there's precedent for us requiring them to have it on site, or if there's, you know, any compelling legislation or statutes or regulations on our part that would allow us to, you know, I know we made a change for Elm Street, but I don't know that a precedent, but I don't know that that forces us to do, you know, to allow this going forward. So I just didn't know, Cassandra, if you've had any conversations, or if, you know, if it's okay if you think if I contact Lauren.
So Lauren is doing interim work for us as an interim director position.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure that if there was anything where you guys could kind of force their hand, she would be including it in the decision for the application towards the planning board. They are set to go before the planning board again on Wednesday night, and they're set to close the hearing.
Okay.
So I don't know that there's really going to be enough time in between today and tomorrow to do that research. But like I said, I'm sure that if there was something, Lauren would have included it.
So Cassandra, if I'm not mistaken, they stated 12 units, right? Can you confirm? Cool. Can you confirm the number of units? I think it's 12. And then
yes.
And then okay. So then with our bylaws, what do they have to have? Because they thought it was 25%. I thought it was less.
I believe it
was only 2.
I thought somebody said 10%. So
it's 10%.
She told us 25%. Cassandra did. I mean, Cassie did. She said 25% of her units would have to be affordable. That's why they don't want to do it on site.
It's 10% in the zoning bylaw under 304.3.
So 10% for her because there's only 12 units?
That's just what it is in the bylaw. Like reading it verbatim from Lauren includes parts of the bylaw in the planning board decisions.
Right. So we only have to have 1.2 there, right? So I don't know that we round up. I think we round down.
I think they round up.
It is. It's rounding up.
I thought it was.
Should it be a fractional unit? It's rounding up.
So it's 2 units she has to have.
I think when you go over like 10, if you're between 10 and 20, it doesn't go to 2. So what are we getting out of the 14? Well, we'll get them all because he's doing them on site.
If she does them on site, we get credit for them all. If she does,
so like Pleasant Street has 14 apartments, and they're doing 2 affordables.
I believe so. And but we get credit for all 14.
Yes. So I think she's got her numbers wrong, and that might be why they're trying to say we don't want to do them on site. You know, if she's only has to do 2, not the number she thinks, then that's not as bad.
So is tomorrow's meeting open to the public?
The public hearing is open to the public tomorrow.
Oh, it is. Okay. Yeah.
And where's that?
It's via Zoom.
Do they have it on site?
No, it's via Zoom.
Okay.
It's only a Zoom meeting. Yeah. Planning.
Oh, you can't go there. It's all Zoom.
Yeah, there's no in-person meeting.
Yeah, I'd love to convince them if it's only 2 units out of 12. I mean, maybe,
Well, that must come up in the meeting. Like someone would say to them, well, you only.
Yeah, but so right now, I don't know. I don't understand the planning board's bylaw pieces that to give 100% of the decision to the applicant, or if it's 100% decision by the planning board. I know the planning board gave Harbor a really hard time about keeping them on site, and making sure they were, and then we had to advocate for them to be off site. They actually gave us more units if they were off-site.
Oh, okay.
So that was their incentive to get us to push that direction.
Mm-hmm.
But
So
I still feel like the harbor's a whole different kettle of fish, you know.
it is, yeah.
I think the affordable wouldn't have made sense there at all. It
Correct.
wouldn't have really benefited anyone, you know. It's just too crazy.
Right. So they cited you know, chapter and verse on issues from other projects that were that $1.5 million range, and how it does not help the resident who's in that unit.
Right. That's all I could see. I wouldn't want to be the one person in there that really couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a whole different ballgame. But I thought, did we actually ever pass a? I thought that was one thing that we were discussing, like what kind of a bylaw should we have? Should we make people do stuff on site, or do we, you know, payment in lieu of, or whatever, you know?
So that was our goal, was to come up with the payment in lieu, right? We wanted to determine what that was. We always had the offsite piece was in there already because, you know, Clark had worked hard on putting that in because that's what Wellesley or somebody else had, or the town of Lincoln, I forget who it was. So that got put in early on.
Okay.
And that's when we had the in lieu of, but we never said how much.
Okay.
So that was always vague. The percentage was always there. That's not something we decided. The percentage of it was always there prior to even being commissioned.
Yeah, that's got to go through zoning, through town meeting. It's going to be approved by town meeting. So.
Right, that was already there, but
yeah,
because it was contiguous units, you know, that kind of thing. So yeah, we can find out what the deal is there, because if they're apartments, we get them all. If they're condos, we get 2. So she said it was going to be apartments, which is great for us. But if she puts them off site, we don't get it at all. We just get 2. So so they're on the agenda for tomorrow.
Yes, they're on the planning board agenda for tomorrow, set to close.
Okay, and what is this, a final meeting for them for final approval? Are they?
Yes, their meeting is set to close.
It's going to close for them tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's kind of too late.
That's the plan, anyways.
Yeah. So they would be approving the unit to be built, and do they also approve the affordable housing aspect of it as well? That's the question, I guess.
That's included in the decision.
Okay. Yeah.
And do you know if the decision is going to include offsite?
Let me pull that up again.
Right.
It says, as conditioned below, the board finds the proposal to fulfill inclusionary zoning requirements by providing 2 offsite residential units to be consistent with the bylaw. In the event that the applicant is unable to fulfill the requirement offsite, the 2 required deed restricted affordable units shall be provided on site.
That's what, see, I was just going to say to you, I make a bet if they say, okay, go try to get it offsite, and they can't do it, they're going to end up having to do.
They'll find something. I mean, there's got to be, you know.
I don't know, Mary. I don't know where they think they're going to find something that's going to work.
Well, they're going to do something where they find a homeowner who has 2 apartments and, you know, pay them a certain amount of money to convert it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There aren't that many opportunities. So.
Yeah. I don't, you know, because I don't know how many apartments are only 2 units, right? Because you can't just convert 2 if you have 3 or 5.
Yeah.
Because you have to deed the property.
And if it's a homeowner that's living there with an extra apartment, I don't see that. We talked about this before. Who's really going to sign themselves up for that?
Yeah.
It's only if somebody wants to sell the building and they make them sell a 2-unit something and they make them an offer they can't refuse. You know, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
Well, the problem for me is that this really cements the offsite precedent again. So it's
they're gonna go do offsite as best they can, and then there's got to be a time limit to how long they can drag their feet on getting an offsite, though, I would assume.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they have to have the decision made before an occupancy permit is issued or what. I don't know what the mechanism is.
Now, can they go to Chief Justice Highway and get 2 of their apartments and buy it out?
Nope.
Buy out the rights? I don't know. I'm just asking.
No.
Okay.
They think they can go. There's someone suggested them is to go to Habitat, give Habitat money and take credit for their housing, but Habitat bought the lot. It's their housing.
That wouldn't work.
Yeah. You can't just go buy somebody else's housing credit.
Yeah.
You know, they think they can, but you know, you can't.
No, Habitat's a thing unto itself. They couldn't, Habitat probably couldn't even do that. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, the Harbor guys, they went through 16 places to go find the one they did, you know, and convert it.
Oh, okay.
So that was a lucky find, right?
Yeah, and they had the money.
Right. They had cash to go do it. Yeah.
Different scenario, because it sounds like these people have very close margins.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but I guess the cost of building a building is really crazy right now.
Yeah, everything's still high.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, do we have anything else we want to talk about?
I don't think so. I think that was good. We covered a lot of ground between last night and today.
Yeah.
So
sorry, not to interrupt, Beth. As an administrative note, I just wanted to bring up, I know you guys had mentioned before that you wanted to alternate doing minutes for all of the meetings. There is an extreme backlog of minutes that need to be done and posted. And I'm just curious if you guys, how you want to move forward with that.
Oh, meeting minutes?
Yes.
So the recordings don't count as meeting minutes, right?
They do not, no.
Okay.
Do you know how far back we are?
I think for the year of 2022, there are 2 minutes completed.
Okay.
And there are 2 missing from 2021. And then I haven't received any for this year to date.
So is there a way to go back and see these?
So any of the recordings that we have, I do know, I checked in on the YouTube page. There are, I think, 2 meetings that are missing recordings. So we're just going to have to deal with the fact that those recordings aren't available. I've reached out to IT and they don't know what happened to the recordings. But all of the other recordings are on the YouTube page.
So
okay.
Can someone go and
listen and just make minutes?
Yeah,
sorry, there were 2 people talking.
Yeah. I actually write everything down on the agenda so I can go through. Let's do something easy. Let's start with this year.
Yep.
All right.
We'll get that completed, and then I'll start flipping backwards on my notes from the other meetings.
Yeah, I'll just start doing the minutes because I've done them in the past. Like I did them for the Friends of the Library and stuff. So I'll just from now on make sure I take good notes and just type them up and submit it. But then I'll figure out how to submit them. You have to send them.
You can just send them to me.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just send them to me. I have a folder on the computer that I save them all in. That way, if they ever need to be accessed, they can be. And then once they're voted and approved on, I'll send them over to the clerk's office to be posted on the website.
Okay.
Okay.
Paul, if you want to give me a couple of months of your notes, I can help you out with typing things up.
Okay. Yeah, right on the back of the front.
How are we gonna do 2022?
The recordings are online. If it's helpful, I can send you guys an email outlining
how to get on them,
how to access the recordings, and which meetings are missing.
Okay, that would be good. And then we can
list.
figure out how to get them done.
Yep. And then if you want to divvy it up or go by Paul's notes or go by the recordings, whichever.
Okay.
But some people, and not necessarily for your group, but some people have been questioning the lack of minutes for other boards and committees. So I'm trying to get everything tidied up.
Okay. Yeah.
I saw that they were advertising for a paid consultant to take the housing trust minutes. Is that something that's open to us?
So I've looked into that. The tricky thing with that is that the Affordable Housing Trust has their own bank account. You guys do not. Oh. So they're paying for that out of their own account.
Oh, okay.
So the problem would be finding funding for somebody.
I get it. Okay.
No, we can just do it. It's a pain in the neck. We'll just do it. And we don't have, like, the meetings aren't crazy. So, you know, we can do bare bones minutes and cover our.
Mary said yes and then did everything.
Yeah, basically. We had a meeting. It was good. We talked about a lot of things.
Yes.
All right. So I promise starting next meeting, I'll diligently take notes and do minutes, but we'll figure out how to backlog.
I'll go through my stack because I do the same thing for sewer. You know, I put all the notes on there, and elder affairs, I just write them all on the
agenda. I do too.
Yeah, I usually did too. So
it would be nice, Cassandra, if the agenda had a little less space taken up at the top, and then a lot of space in between the items, so you can write down good notes between the items. Do you know what I mean? So it takes up a whole page.
Yes, I know what you mean. I will do my best to remember that for the next time that I create the agenda.
I get it. It's just I write on my agenda too, and my writing's bad enough. So
yep, I can certainly add more space. That's no problem.
Terrific. Thanks so much.
All right. Are we ready to call it a day?
Okay, so that's the meeting to adjourn motion. Mary, do you second that?
I do second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thank
you, Cassandra. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Cassandra.
Sure.
Okay.